I have lived the vast majority of my life in an unreliable body that has required me to be open to circuitous routes and creative problem solving. I have developed a relentless sense of curiosity about how things could work. Rather than accepting the challenges of my body as obstacles that prevented me from pursuing my dreams, I've always opted to take them as opportunities for coming up with new ways to do and to be. This conditioning has predisposed me to looking for solutions rather than focusing on problems. I ground myself with gratitude for the opportunity to think creatively and approach both my work and my body with mindfulness. Navigating a normative world in a non-normative body produces conditions that require adaptive thinking. When adaptivity functions as a native language, creativity expands what is possible. When my stump couldn't tolerate my prosthetic a year into my MFA in glassblowing, I designed an adaptation to my wheelchair that allowed me to return to the hot shop. I don't think I ever considered the possibility of stopping my work. My brain faced the reality of, I cannot simultaneously walk with crutches and carry a blowpipe with molten glass on it as an equation. If I cannot walk without crutches, how can I carry a blowpipe in the hot shop? If I propel myself with my foot in a wheelchair, my hands will be free for holding a blowpipe. So now the problem becomes, how can I adapt my wheelchair to serve as both my means of mobility within the shop and function like a glassblowing bench? It meant armrests replaced by rails and a seat lowered to allow foot propulsion. So I met with Logan in the welding studio to discuss fabricating the parts, and within a couple of weeks I had a fully functional glassblowing wheelchair. When I could only use one foot on the treadles of a loom, Mackenzie added a brick to the passive treadle of the CompuDoby loom for me. The brick provided enough weight to pull the left treadle down when I lifted my foot off the right treadle, completing the necessary motions to allow the computer-driven solenoids to select which shafts lifted in sequence. When I wanted to bring my complex woven pattern into glass, it never occurred to me that it couldn't be done, only that I had to find the right questions to ask in order to solve the equation. What are the qualities of woven fabric that I want to translate across mediums? Was I more attached to the literal structure or to the visual textures that implied structure? How does glass behave when pulled into thread-like thickness? How and when does glass best emulate fiber? How can I adapt my methods to produce glass that looks like woven fabric? When bodies or existing tools fail to meet the needs for the things that we want to make, the ways we want to move, or the people we want to be, this does not have to mean that we can't do or be those things. It means we get to ask the question, how can we adapt?